Welcome back, changemakers. Think about the most polarizing person you know. Now times that by a million. That's what we're diving into today. From business mogul to president to social media phenomenon, Donald Trump's leadership style has shattered every conventional playbook. But here's the twist. Our empathy AI analysis has just revealed something about Trump that raises a critical question. Is it division or unity that's the true path to truly transformational leadership? Let's dive straight into the Laceway analysis, starting with listening. And here, Trump scores 3 out of 5 on the heartometer. So let me break this down for you. He masterfully tunes into his base's frequency. You can see it in how his rally responses mirror exactly what his supporters are thinking. He creates instant feedback loops, often using phrases like, "Many people are saying," sound like any managers you might know? But here's the catch. He shows selective hearing, a bit like that colleague who only hears what they want to hear. Take his COVID response as a perfect example, a masterclass in selective listening, perfectly attuned to economic fears, but seemingly deaf to health experts. Moving on then to accountability, and here Trump scores only 2 out of 5. The patterns here are striking. When Empathy AI analyzed his language, it heard "I built," "I fixed," the language of personal ownership when things go right. But when things go wrong, the language shifts to "they failed," the classic deflection playbook. His famous phrase,
"I alone can fix it,"
perfectly encapsulates his approach. Just look at how differently he communicated stock market highs compared to the lows. If anything, it's a leadership lesson in what not to do. Now, if you're enjoying these analysis videos, check out the playlist, which includes some incredibly successful leaders who've proved themselves expert at putting people at the heart of their approach and delivering amazing results. On now to collaboration, and Trump scores 3 out of 5 again. Here's where it gets interesting. He's proven he can build alliances when it really matters to him. Just look at the Middle East agreements. However, his immediate team was incredibly unstable, with that now famous revolving door of staff. Yet he's exceptional at mobilizing supporters. Operation Warp Speed showed us something crucial. Even the most go-it-alone leaders can collaborate when the stakes are high enough. Before we look at the final element, let me remind you that true leadership isn't about taking sides. It's about building bridges. The Laceway shows us that the most effective leaders find ways to listen to all voices, be accountable to everyone, and collaborate across the divide. And now for empathy. And Trump scores a surprising 4 out of 5. This might shock you, but let me explain. He creates deep emotional connections with his supporters. He mirrors their frustration with uncanny precision and speaks their language fluently. The leadership lesson here is fascinating. He transforms complex policy into emotional stories. While connecting with one group shows emotional intelligence, imagine channeling that same emotional resonance to unite rather than divide. The highest form of leadership empathy doesn't just understand one group, it helps different groups understand each other. So here's what makes Trump's case so fascinating. His total heartometer score of just 12 out of 20 doesn't just tell us one thing, it's 3 different stories. To his supporters, he'd score an almost perfect 18 out of 20. To his opponents, maybe a harsh 4 out of 20. And to our neutral AI, 12 out of 20. This reveals both the power and the limitation of selective leadership. While deeply connecting with some and disconnecting from others might win some battles, history shows us that the greatest leaders, those who create lasting positive change, find ways to bridge those divides. And that's what I've learned from studying transformative leaders. The path to lasting impact is through unity. The highest form of leadership doesn't require us to choose between deep connection with some or moderate connection with all. It challenges us to do the harder work of building genuine connections across differences. The Laceway isn't just a measurement tool, it's a roadmap to more inclusive, effective leadership. When we truly listen to all voices, hold ourselves accountable to the whole, collaborate across boundaries, and practice universal empathy, we achieve something quite remarkable. Leadership that doesn't just score well, it transforms. Yes, it's harder. Yes, it takes longer. But if we want to create lasting change in our organizations and in our communities, leading with love isn't just an option. It's the only way forward. Share your thoughts in the comments below on how you're working to build bridges in your own leadership journey. And if you believe in the power of inclusive leadership and want to build on your own LACE scores, make sure you subscribe and follow along and come back again next week. We'll be looking at a leader who achieved something remarkable, turning opponents into allies through the power of listening with love. This is Simon Phillips reminding you it's time to lead with love, and I'll see you next week. Take care.